Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris, and my co-host and very good friend is Dave.
Hey there, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. We're covering Married at First Sight. No, we're not. We're covering Love Island, Season 12, Week 2, Chris.
Yeah.
Went back in time a few weeks then to Married at First Sight. So where would you like to start today?
Well, I've got to say, Dave, that shirt you've got on is magnificent. It is 30 degrees in the UK at the moment. I am being an absolute chav with my vest on because it's just absolutely swell.
No,
Yeah.
Wife beater. I was going to say man beater.
Something like
That would be
something like
something
that.
different.
Yeah, that's completely different. Yeah, some trailer trash. I've got it on, Dave, but sweating isn't even in it, So I'm sure you said, well, you are looking very, very summery. Yeah, we can't cope in the UK, can we? It seems to be a different level. I got to Vegas and it'd be 40 degrees, and I'm like, oh, this is magnificent. In the UK, it's not, Dave. No, we don't have air conditioning. We don't have anything. So it's absolutely horrible. We're just not set up for the cold weather or the hot weather. That's why everyone's so miserable in the UK, because it's always pissing raining. So when it is nice, we're all moaning about how hot it is. So you look very respectful and very nice, and I look exactly how I probably should be, like a chav, but there you go.
Well, I'm just going for the Magnum PI. Needs to get rid of the beard and probably a few stone as well, but try and play that off. But no, Chris, I thought, it's a bit of Love Island as well. Should go full on summary. Thought no one needs to see me with my shirt actually off, so hence the flowery nature is coming out. But Chris, it's been I think we talked about it last week with week 1. A lot of these people have come in, and in the past, in previous seasons, they played it pretty safe. And in this one, it seems like you have got people in there not just saying they're going to come in and mix things up, they're actually mixing things up. So I think it's been a good, solid week again.
It has, to be fair, and we talked, and it's one of our friends, Jess, in the Facebook group, on the messenger, saying how good the US one and some of the other people in the Love Island US chat there. I think this has been really good. There's loads of things I'm not buying, and I'm going to call it out, but I think as a whole, the people they've got in so far have got the assignment. They're not bothered about Instagram followers at the moment, anything. I mean, fucking hell, they're all thirsty for a bit of fucking sex by the look of it, Dave. It's ridiculous, but also, and there's some devious people in there, there's some sly people, and and Sam was like, I'm checked out of this before we started it. And then we're both watching last night's episode, and she's like, it's been really good, hasn't it? I went, yeah. I said, this is like the old Love Island, just a bunch of shits. Just basically anybody will cheat on anybody at the moment. There isn't any real strong connections. We're only the second week of the show. You can see that some people are treating it like they've been married with 4 kids and all that, and they've cheated, all that they do. It's like I said it last week, it's like human nature thing. But I think as an overall thing, it's been great. And I think the start of the week was we had the game where you're supposed to be spitting facts about different islanders, and then Shay, Harry, they just decided, you know what, fuck that, we're just going to kiss the people we want to kiss. And then it got back to Tommy, so we had a kick-off then, and the girls weren't happy, and we've got this divide now where I think the villain of the week or the bellend of the week for me has been Harry, but he's been front and center of everything. He's been there, involved in everything that's gone on in the actual villa, and it's been so interesting to see that he doesn't give a shit, Dave, whether he sold it. He feels like a producer plant, but he loves himself. He loves the smell of his own fucking farts, that lad. He absolutely thinks he's like a 10 out of 10, and I don't think he is. He's a good-looking lad, but he's not as good as he thinks he is. But yeah, he's just come across so badly. He's not the only one, but I felt like this whole week has just been him literally looking at the camera going, I'm going to do it anyway. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
I've enjoyed every interaction with him, but because he's a bella and not because I like him, I just feel that if we take that away, instead of just going at every contestant, go there, they're this like we normally do. I'm like, yeah, he's the sort of person we need amongst others, but he's shone higher than anybody this week, I think, for just stirring it and creating so many issues around the villa. And it's been about the Tommy show, really. The Harry show, sorry, not Tommy, but the Harry show, man. with his mullet.
Yeah, I think it, it has been,
Yeah.
and I'm conflicted because, like you say, he's been the worst one, and you're like, oh, you are a bastard. But then it's like what we used to say with the comic book movies. Any heroic movie, I don't know why I said it in that weird way, but any heroic movie needs a really good villain, and he's just playing a really good villain. And I think that if you look at the older franchises, things like Bachelor, it seems like the people coming into that really understand that you don't need to be just yourself. You don't even need to project your best self. You need to be memorable. And I think on The Bachelor in particular, they get that. And so that's why you get so many villains, because I don't think so many people can just be utter arseholes, and do the things that they're doing. Whereas in the UK, they haven't typically, even if you think they're an arsehole, it seems authentic. Whereas now, I can't help but feeling like Harry either is just a pure arsehole, or I do think he's trying to play that villain. I think he's playing it up. I mean, the thing is, we are at the end of week 2 now, and you alluded to it before. Some of the people in there, particularly the girls, are thinking like, we've been coupled up for 6 months, and we'll see how the next 6 months goes. But if it goes well, we'll be engaged at the end of that. It's like, hang about it, you're having a laugh. So, although I think he's a knob, I do think Harry is both the bell end of the week and the star of the week.
Yeah, without a doubt. Even when they got rumbled for this kissing game, he's just like got
Mm.
this like arrogant smirk as if to say, like I said before, look at the cat, what are you going to do about it? I'm still doing it anyway. And for some reason, some of the girls actually like that. And I'm like, but he's not really a good guy. He's as it goes on, there's other things to talk about with Harry, but I think like as the week went on, like he just felt like the producers, there was him and Yasmin as well. They both feel
Mm.
as if the producers are just pulling them. This thing we've heard off the other podcast where they go to the front door, they're like, right, we need to rock it. Let's have that speak about Scott Thomas. The ratings are down. We need something. And Scott
Mm.
Thomas just literally does a full 180. His personality just flips because he needs to do something for the camera to keep, because they want a bit of drama and stuff. And I think like if they're doing that, they're doing it right. Then they're following it the right way. They're causing shit. The other contestants, even though they might be aware and these production cues and they've got to go and sit here and talk about this, we can see it so obvious when you watch it. I feel that some of the other contestants and the other islanders are not in on this with them, and that's what's causing. And it looks like genuine reactions. It doesn't look like it's like rehearsed stuff, which we normally see with Love Island. It's been so
Mm.
overproduced. It feels like they're leaning into it with the contestants and the contestants, Dave. I might as well call them judges or whatever now. I'm just, I seem to call it every show the judges and
This is
whatever
the
show we do.
judges. Yeah.
It is for the judges. But yeah, so he was star of the show. Him and Yasmin for me were like just ridiculous all week. But before we get into, because there's loads to talk about, I think we got Harrison in, Dave. Now,
Oh yeah.
what's puzzling me about Harrison? He's come in, I think he's a footballer, whatever he is, pro footballer. He's fucking boring anyway. And he comes in, he saves Tony. But how does, right, a lad from Derbyshire who lives in Miami get on to Love Island, Dave, without somebody contacting or somebody saying through a talent
Um,
agency, we need some like English lad, whatever it is, whatever the profile they wanted. And he says it and he's like, I live in Miami. Well, how have you ended up in fucking Mallorca, in Spain? And how have you even auditioned for Love Island? We won't even see Love Island UK. You'd have to be on like, he's on one of the sort of subscription channels over there. And I know the US one's on Peacock. So I don't, it's
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
how would that work? So that straight away was like, oh, this is this. They can't leave it alone, can they? And it's like, why would he come all that way? So he's not done anything wrong. He seems a bit fucking dull, to be honest. He's not really been a bombshell. He's just slipped into the villa, quite nicely, to be honest. He just like he seems to be in the background at the moment. He's trying to make a few moves. He keeps Tony, which I think was a good thing for the show, because Tony is just she's another personality, a really, really like strong personality that they need. And I think whether you like her or not, she's going to bring the drama. So it was the right thing to do. But yeah, I don't know about you, Dave, but that was just like, yeah, I'm not having that. You can tell me a story all you want, but bringing someone from Miami from nowhere was like, nah, this is the producers here blagging us.
Yeah, I'm not having these from Miami. I reckon he went on holiday while the application was coming in, and because it just makes no sense, does it? Unless,
No,
I mean, with Tony, I guess she is so called in Vegas. But again, why wouldn't you go on the US Love Island in that case?
yeah,
It doesn't ring true to me. So, and they do have like people from the UK and Ireland and stuff over there, don't they? On the
yeah.
US one, but I don't know. It just strikes me as very odd. It strikes me as one of those like, oh yeah, yeah, I'm an actress. Yeah, I also work in care and Boots, but I'm an actress. Yeah, right, right. Or I'm a footballer. Yeah, we do what they call Le Sunday League. It's just they're all full of shit, aren't they? But the thing is, again, I talk about them. A lot of the contestants, judges, islanders, whatever they are.
Yeah.
I talk a lot of them leaning into the characters and just trying to make sure that we've got a bit of drama. But yeah, Harrison, he's more seashell than bombshell, isn't he? Just sort of hanging around there, just plonk him in the sand and just, yeah, he's just got nothing about him at all.
He hasn't, and I think it was good. Like I say, he kept Tony in, but Dave, the whole week. So we get this weird thing in week one, and I'm like, what is that trampoline doing in Love Island? What the fuck's that? And Ian Sterling's laughing, going, "It's not a trampoline. It's not a trampoline. It's a hammock. No, it's a trampoline, right?" And he's saying he jokes at one point, saying that the play area, play center wants this trampoline back. When this is over, don't damage it. One of the lads is like jumping me down, but the PR speak was it was for thruples, Dave, wanting to get to know each other. Now,
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
whole time we've had Love Island, this isn't like Temptation Island where we did see a bit of a threesome in one of the things, anything like that.
Season
This
two,
is
if I
Love
remember
Island.
right.
Yeah, yeah, it was in episode 2, was it, Dave? I believe. But just off the top of my head, we did cover it on the pod just because of the podcast, Dave, obviously. But they allude to thruples, right? So I said about David Hay last week, the boxer. He was in a relationship with one of the girls
Oh,
out of one of the bands. I can't remember the bloody band is. And then you've got, was it the Saturdays? Frankie Finger was in it. Wayne Bridges' miss was in the same band, but not in the throuple, but in the band. And it was another girl as well. So they were in a couple. And it was a big thing in the news in the UK last year. And then you from nowhere,
oh,
you've got
we covered. What was it? Celebs go dating.
yes, let's
Wasn't?
go dating. Yes, one of them was on there.
Oh no. Or were they? Am I mixing it up with Tyler Walker?
Oh, it's Kyle Walker, Dave. Actually, well, yeah, he's probably had
But
multiple
there was one of them.
threesomes.
There was one of them was talking about David Hay. I remember. We are spot on with the facts today, by the way. So
It was Helen Flanagan out of Coronation Street. She was with
yes,
David Hay
yeah, yeah,
after
yeah,
with
yeah.
Scott Sinclair.
That's
Nobody's
right.
gonna know what
Yeah,
we're talking about, Dave. But if you've not watched Celebs Go Dating and you're from the UK, none of this will mean anything. But David's right; it's a very good call. But that's a Chris Phelps call back there, Dave. I like that. That's very good.
yeah.
But so then you get this conversation where Jasmine comes in, and I said last week, joking, yeah, I'm going to shake it over. And I'm like, yeah, she's going to be in the background. Oh no, she's not been in the background. I have been wrong about that. And she's talking with Tony, and then Tony's like, yeah, I've had a free show. And Hazel's like, yeah, I've had quite a few. And then Tony's like, yeah, mate, I've had one at a party with an NFL player and a porn star. And I'm like, I was like, what? I was like, what? He's like, what?
In front of everyone, apparently.
In front of everyone as well. She's laughing about it. But then I'm thinking, and you said this before we come on the podcast about foreshadowing. That just seems a little bit because they keep having these conversations as if it's going to lean into the three of them
Yeah.
are going to get on that thruples trampoline thing. And there's going to be, I'm not saying there's going to be any sex, but there's probably going to be a bit of snogging and all that. And then this other Meg who's with Dejan, who I don't really like, to be honest, Dave, if I'm being honest. And
Mm.
Dejan's laughing his head off every time she pulls him. He just laughs, and that everything he's been pulled on this week, he's been pulled about 4 or 5 times with totally inappropriate things you should not say when you're in a relationship. And he's just like, well, it's just with me mates. I was having a chat, and I'm like, he doesn't give a shit about it. And to be honest, I think they need to split up. I think that the dynamic of some of the girls I'm not happy with, which we'll talk about later. I think we're getting a few little cliques going on. But even
Mm.
though he was wrong, what he was doing, and especially the concept about Yasmin, like he'll give her a proper orgasm. She says she never had an orgasm from a man. And I'm like, and he could see that was like a challenge for him, couldn't it? But I don't know, that whole thing felt a little bit too overproduced, too forced, if that makes sense. Even though I'm all in, Dave, and I don't know what's going to happen next because it's going to kick off. I'm like, this seems too cute the way this has been teed up, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's a lot in what you said there. You said pulling quite a lot. I think there will be a lot of pulling at some point. Um, yeah, Dejan will be
Maybe.
involved. Jasmine will be involved somehow.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you would place bets, you would say Tony. Maybe that's the threesome. And Meg
Yeah.
in the corner will have some sort of nuclear explosion. But yeah, I think it's a tough one, right? Because I'm saying they seem to have leaned into the characters more, so I'm enjoying it more. You know, first week I generally don't enjoy that much because it's quite dull. Everyone's playing it safe, and then gets a bit more exciting in week two. Whereas they seem to have got into it more straight from the off in this one, but probably it is because they're being pushed a lot more off camera, you know. And the thing with the trampoline looking thing, it's just it's too much foreshadowing. It's like, oh, look at this prop here, which is perfectly for threesomes. Oh, we've got, you know, this conversation just organically happening about threesomes, and we've got Jasmine who, you know, again, I can't help but feel, is she in life leaning into that over sexualized character? Does she get a lot of attention because she speaks in that way? A lot of short term attention, I would imagine. Or is she playing it up for the cameras? I'm not sure, but I don't think, you know, I don't think that's her authentic self. But yeah, I do think this is in the script, isn't it? At some point, you know, there will be something. You know, it's probably not going to be quite as graphic as Tony's story, but something's being foreshadowed for sure.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. But again, it's been great to watch this week. I was like, oh, this is like totally, totally the opposite of what we've seen in Love Island the last few series, because it's been far too many contestants just playing it safe. You know, really like
Yeah.
we're bored. We're like, God's sake, you just do something. You know, nothing's up. The Christmas one was bobbins, wasn't it? It was just like, yeah, they just coasted towards the end. It was really poor. But I do think that, like, and go back to Harry, because he's sort of involved in this as well. He's like, Harry, you know, Yasmin makes a play for Harry. Harry's lied all the time that he's talking to anybody about what's going on. He says he doesn't like
Uh,
Yasmin. Next minute, he's snogging her face off. Then they go into that little like pool area, and that Helena's like, he's going to kiss her. And he's like, no, he's
it's
not.
the
And he just
hideaway,
fucking
isn't it?
the
Little
hideaway,
little
sorry,
hideaway.
yeah, the little hideaway, sorry, and he's snogging her face off, and he's all over, and then they come out lying. You've kissed him? No, I've not. She's kissing? No, 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 no. And like, just tell us the truth. Like, you're on Love Island. They're gonna show it
Yeah,
at some point, or is that the whole point?
yeah, yeah.
So we get another video, a video revelation cinema night. So, but it was great to watch because I was like, you bunch of bastards, a lot of you. You're dragging me right in here, and I'm loving this. Absolutely
Yeah.
loving the shit housery.
Yeah, I mean, again, you're conflicted, aren't you? But I can push the cynical voice in my head back a bit because, like you say, there's no way they're not going to find out, you know, and so denying it in that moment just makes you look like even more of a knob. So you might get to the other side of Casa Amor when they get the cinema night, but you know, you've already had the like mini cinema night where you know the girls could see all the things that the boys were talking about, and you know some of them were pretty upset there. So yeah, there's no way that isn't coming out, and then both Jasmine and Harry tell two different people. Well, if it wasn't coming out on the cameras from the producers, as soon as you tell someone, it's getting out as well. So it was not the perfect crime. You would not see Columbo trying to, figure this one out for a whole hour and then saying, I don't believe it in the workplace.
I knew you were
So,
going to do that
yeah,
because I was going to do that
I
as well.
just couldn't resist. Where it was no Columbo needed in this case. But yeah, I just think, like I say, I think it's great. I think that both characters are knobs, but right in the right place, on Love Island. No, I wouldn't want these people in my life and interact with them. But on a show like this, where we love the drama, fucking brilliant. And it was so,
And get on.
it was almost Towie like, wasn't it, when they were in the hideaway, where I think I don't know. Or again, maybe I'm doing a disservice, and they're actually just that fucking wooden in life. But the whole stilted, like, and oh, you're just gonna fucking shut up and kiss me. It's not classic rom com stuff, Chris, is it? And it just seemed
No,
really stiff, if you like.
I knew it was.
Before we got stiffer. But yeah, but I mean, they didn't even have that long until they were called out, did they?
No, and you're right. Actually, you're right. The whole dynamic of it is just silly. And look, that's what I'm saying. Like they know the game. Like you said, they're not gonna not. It's just not going to not come out somewhere. That video is going to be played at the cinema night if they're together, or they might even bring it forward, like what they've just done. Send the girls on a date. There's going to be something going on there because even after all this, and Harry's saying to Helena, like, yeah, I'm not really into her. I don't really find her attractive. Then he's kissing her. Then he makes a play with Shakira, and they're both like, yeah, well, and then she like pulls it off with Ben. And I've pulled off again, Derek. I realize I keep saying that now, but Ben seems a little bit possessive, doesn't he? So I think maybe that's not a bad thing because I think that he's saying to her, "Is this to do with Harry?" And she's just sat on the bed, I think snogging or anything, but they're like, "Yeah, we both fucked up. Basically, we should have been together." And she's not really blaming him for kissing the other girls, and I'm like, right, well, this is definitely going to lead into something else now. So potentially Harry's going to be snogging Shakira. Maybe, Dave, I'm completely off with Dejan, Megan, and Yasmin. Maybe it's going to be Harry, Yasmin, and Shakira in a threesome together. Because that's another one there. You've got a little three triangle going on, haven't you? It's bizarre. It's bizarre, all this. It's leading me down different alleyways when I'm watching it. And I'm like, why are you doing this in Love Island? Can I just come on and slag yous off? I'm actually really enjoying this like silliness that's going on, just like nobody has got any morals, and that's the perfect way it should be.
Yeah, and I think we dig them out when it seems a bit more real. But I guess, like say, I feel like they're all playing characters almost. However, and when I say playing characters, I don't mean someone completely different. I just mean dialing themselves up a little bit. But actually, I give Shakira a bit more credit, unless she goes full on into the game of it. But Shakira actually seems more mature than her years would suggest. I think she's probably been messed about quite a bit. Ben, really over the top possessive, isn't he? I mean, he's just a,
Yeah.
a knob. And she's right. I mean, he's a great looking bloke. You know, he looks good on the TV, but I'd imagine, if you saw him out and about, he would really stand out and has no problem at all getting the ladies. But he's got nothing to him. It's completely boring, really uninteresting. But yeah, just really, I think not emotionally mature, not like he snaps back like a child, like a man child. He's just yeah. I can't see that lasting for any length of time at all. And what did she say? She doesn't stimulate, or he doesn't stimulate her, or something like that with the conversation. So yeah, I can't see that lasting.
Yeah, I can't. I can't, honestly. I'm with you. And I think the last thing I wanted to say, Dave, because I know we're going through the things, but this thing where there's the potential for the Mean Girls thing that I think's come in. So I think both Megans, the Irish girl, Megan with Dejan, then you got Helena, and then Emily, the Welsh girl that's there. So these fucking names I'm
Mm,
only just getting used to. Shakira and that,
yeah,
no problem. But like the Megan, I mean, why did you do it again when you've got two people with the same name on a show like this? Ridiculous. But
yeah.
I don't like that dynamic. I really don't. And I know Yasmin's been
Well,
a little cute and a little bit sly on some of the things she's done. But I think that these girls are it's just verging on this like group thing where I didn't know that Emily, the Welsh girl, didn't like Tony, and they have a kick
Yeah, right.
off. I didn't know that. I don't know I don't know if I've missed something this week. Maybe it was so obvious. I don't know, but I didn't really see anything too serious. They're all going to have a little bit of a bitch here and there, but nothing. And when the girl said, "Oh, they don't get on," and I'm like, "Well, this is something the producers have not showed." I could be wrong, but I've not seen that personally to go, "Oh yeah, you can tell these
Uh,
people don't like each other." So that was a bit of it. That was interesting. But then what you don't want is all them lot, because they're a little clique, going at Tony, going at Yasmin. Then you're going to get another group off. So Tony's been with Shakira a lot. Shakira
mm,
seems to be down the middle. They slagged her off for grafting last week. Well, it's Love Island. You're not fucking married. It's not like she's coming in and trying to cheat with someone's husband. As you said, they've literally just been together. That's the whole
mm,
name. I think you're right. I think like the dynamic of the contestants are right. That's just something I'm keeping an eye on because I don't like some of the dialogue that's going on. They seem to be very quick to judge everybody. And it'll be like, when we get in Casa Amor, I'm pretty sure these girls will probably be the first ones to jump ship if they had half a chance. So, it's like you're all on that moral high ground. When you do get on that, you've got to stick to your principles if you're going to be so judgmental. We all do it. Nobody
mm.
gets that. We all prejudge people. But yeah, I don't know. It's not been horrendous, but I can just see it building. And I've seen some of the comments as well online and that. Because I first thought, is it just me? But I think Megan is with Deja. I don't like her at all. I think there's something not thingy there. She's really like up for it. She's ready to go all the time, isn't she? With a bit of a kick off all the time. She wants to argue. And I'm
Yeah.
not saying he brought some of that on himself, but she's everybody. She wants to be involved, doesn't she?
But has he though? It's the end of week 2. I mean, if it
Yes.
was a end of week 2 of a 2-week holiday, right? And everyone accepts it's a holiday romance, I could half get it. But no, I mean, she is off the scale, possessive for how long they've been in. And I don't know why, apart from the fact that if the girls get a pick, he doesn't want to completely count himself out, maybe. But I don't know why he would put up with that because she constantly is at him for hardly anything. Now, I must admit, it was one of my favorite moments of this season so far, like I say, at the end of week 2. But the fact that they threw them all under the bus with the quotes so quickly, and when the thing about the orgasm, and let's face it, he was just being a knob, like just joking around with the lads,
Yeah.
oh, maybe I'll give her an orgasm and she'll fall in love with me, you know, but and as soon as he was called out for it, it's like, he said it. Oh, I was almost like looking through my fingers. I'm like feeling bad for him, but also loving it. I'm like, oh, it's all going to kick off now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was good. But I mean, I'll get bored of this very, very quickly if it's just a cycle of, him not being utterly perfect. And like I say, in the first few weeks, let's say even pre-Casa Amor, just speak to whoever you want, explore every connection and work with that. You're not in
Mm.
a relationship, you're not getting married, you know, I don't know. It just seems like that, and you're right. I think the whole Mean Girls thing, considering that wasn't Harry with Shakira when Helena got with Harry, but then she's become all possessive, and it's like, why would you try with Harry? you know, and it's like this is the 5th time it's happened. I tell you what, if this happens one more time, and she did say, I think it was at the last episode, oh, it's over now. It's over. But I don't really believe it, so we'll see what goes on there. But there is definitely that clique forming with the girls, isn't there?
There is. But again, Dave, perfect casting. The dynamic is there. Everyone, I think it's next week. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to watch some of the extra stuff later, see what's actually really going on with the personalities and why this Tony and Emily thing has come about, whether we actually see a bit more of the behind the scenes stuff. But then it'll be lead into Sunday's episode where I think we're going to, maybe we'll see Maya come in and then someone will get kicked off or whatever. But yeah, dead strong start. And I've got to say, this is probably one of the best starts to Love Island UK for a few series now, to be fair. We're so cynical, quite rightly. It's fucking middle-aged men talking about a show of early 20-year-olds,
I know.
however, and the love lives and that, and the drama. I know. But and it is. He sounds more ridiculous as each year goes, Dave, and we get older. But there you go. But then, but I think like I am looking forward to it, and they've done something at the moment. It may fizzle off. It may be like, oh, here we go. But he's keeping me to like, oh, I can't wait for Sunday, and I've not done that for a long time with Love Island. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's done what it said on the tin this time, Dave. I'll give him credit for a change.
Yeah, you just cast my mind back then. So, do you remember Wedding Singer with Adam Sandler? Um,
Yeah.
One of his mates who dresses up as like Michael Jackson with the glove and everything. He said every year, I get older, but the girls stay the same age. And it's like, oh my God, like fucking Leonardo DiCaprio or something. And so you just reminded me of that. I was saying, each year we cover Love Island and we're getting older every year. And the Islanders are still ridiculously young. But I
Dave,
mean,
yeah.
when we've covered Married at First Sight, like you say, the older ones act like bellends as well. So, don't feel too bad.
No, it's good stuff, mate. It's good stuff. So are we? I think that's it for me, Dave. I don't think I've got anything else. To be honest, I've loved it. Anything you
Yeah,
want to say before we get to wrap up?
not really. I like in the slightly shorter format, or not format, but just boiling it down to a few talking points. I don't think we've missed out too much. Looking
Mm.
forward very much to next week, I have to say, and yeah, bring on more drama.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And a big thank you to everyone. As always, if you want to email us, cdrealitycast@gmail.com. If you want to follow us on social media or you want to watch the video version of the podcast, please go over to YouTube and search for @CDRealityCast across all the different platforms we're available. And if you do want to support us, please get over to patreon.com/CDRealityCast. So the roll call of honor. And before I go through the roll call of honor, big thank you. We have two brand new patrons. So welcome to Melanie and Christy. So thank you so much for joining up this week. We really appreciate it. And myself and Dave are going to finish off Virgin Island as well. And we'll have the full shebang on that series. That's more to me than it is David. So we will get that watched and get it out there. And then we've got another show in our back pocket of our Patreon. So I do appreciate all your support, guys. We both do. So a big thank you and welcome to Melanie and Christy. We have Holly, Darren, Anna, Tilly, Marcy, Stacey, Sinead, Kathleen Sims, Nick, Danielle, Amanda, Larissa, Nicola, Gillian, Keith, Helen, Chloe, Joanna, Libby, Susan, Looking at the Green, Lauren, and I got that the wrong way around. And it was Looking at the Green, Lauren, Dave. Well, there you go. Anyway, so thank you so much. I said it wrong for the first time ever. Well, thank you. And I did have a message off Joe this week, Dave, our great friend Joe Russell, and one of our patrons as well. Unfortunately, she's a great radio presenter. She's now got a new show at weekend, so she's going to struggle a little bit. But she said she will be sending in, if we can't get the calendars together and get the diary sorted, she'll be sending in voicemails, especially when you, Dave, come up with wild theories, Dave, like you do. So I understand, Joe, if you're
I
listening.
see. Yeah, so I do have something extra because earlier in the week, I'm sure you text me and said, "Oh, the reality radar is coming back," and
It
but yet
is.
there was no prediction.
No, so
Oh,
to be
oh, it's-
fair, yeah, sorry to cut you off. The reality radar was actually the thruple thing. I completely
all
lost it
right.
there because that was the thing about the football and the trampoline and all that. That was supposed to be the reality radar. That's going to be the next big thing. So that is the reality radar. It is back. Unfortunately, due to the sweatiness of my whole body at the moment in this leather chair, Dave, I lost the will to live. As in, not because of you, but just to thinking I'm melting as we record this. So I've
Yeah.
forgot the radar, but the radar is back, people. That's my prediction that there will be something around that.
See, I feel like the radar. I mean, we'll be recording this for another 20 years, and you will not nail another Davide and Ekin-Su thing like you did. And you're going to be reminding me of that, though I appreciate it was me who brought it up this time. But for me, it's a or an apparent Hail Mary, whereas the thruple thing, I think that is way too safe for a radar prediction. So we'll
Well,
have to keep an eye out for more.
but the thing is, it's when I'm on my deathbed and I say, I want to see Dave one last time. And then you come to see me, Dave, and it's all morbid. And you lean in and I go, told you I was right about Davide and Ekin-Su. You'd be like,
Do you
fuck
remember
off,
that
just
time
go.
when you said
Yeah,
1%?
And I'm going to the pearly gates thinking about that day. Thank you. Oh, love it, mate. Love it.
That's
Well, thank you
amazing.
so much. And thanks everyone again for all your support on YouTube, on all your podcast catching apps. We really appreciate it. And it's a great, if you listen on Spotify, Dave, I was actually listening this week. I think it's 85% of our audience actually listen on Spotify than anywhere else, which is unbelievable. So thank you so much for that. But there is a comment section. There's a community thread on there as well. So if you want to drop some comments on there, I'm always policing it. I know you do, Dave, but I'm usually on that because I get the notifications to my phone. So if you think you don't want to join us on Facebook, Christian Age Reality TV Cast, which I've got to mention, a big thank you to Charlene as well for policing that. Thank you so much for that. But yeah, get over to Spotify and you can. We've got a community feature now and can get the conversations going. You can just call Dave out for all the ridiculous stuff he comes up with. So yeah, no problem. I'll be happy to answer all questions.
Awesome, mate. Well, thank you very much. Great chat. Like I say, appreciate we're trying to aim for half an hour-ish, but it depends what there is to talk about. So we'll see how that goes. But thank you very much, sir. Thanks to all our listeners out there. Thanks to all our supporters, and we'll speak to you next time.
Bye.